Today we have a pumpkin pie recipe, but it's kind of different from the ones you've eaten before. First of all, it's savory and it's incredibly tasty and so easy to make. Normally I would feel lazy about making a pie at home, but this is so easy that you would want to make it. Secondly, the crust is so tasty. From the crust, we can also make something called poğaça. Yeah, which is the bonus of it. Third, I'm going to do it in the air fryer and I'm going to show you how to use your air fryer to make great pies. Our ingredients: 2 glasses of flour, 3 tablespoons of yogurt, a teaspoon of baking powder or half a pack if you have packs like this, and 1/3 of a cup. I write it in grams as well below. It could be olive oil, it could be seed oil, sunflower oil, anything that you can use. A pinch of salt, a pinch of sugar.
3 whites.
All the whites that you can find, yeah. This is actually a great base to make poğaça and to make the crust of the pie. Yogurt makes it really fluffy and crunchy at the same time, but there is an additive. It's this ingredient. This ingredient is called mahlep. Poğaças and something called çatal we have. Very nice Turkish street foods. The good ones now, they don't put it all the time. This is called mahlep cherry, mahalap cherry. In English, it's actually a form of cherry seeds. It has some weird smell and taste, but it makes this crust incredibly tasty. I beat this. When you taste this, it's incredibly bitter. And it feels weird, and the feeling that you would get is it's so bitter that it cannot give goodness to my dough, but it works in miracles. And you shouldn't buy it as powder because it goes bad really fast. You should buy it as seeds. First, with a spoon, we mix everything. After everything starts to hold together, knead it a bit. After a few minutes of kneading, the dough cleans the cup and it's ready to open. Different from bread making, for example, if this was a bread, we should knead it more and it would be smoother. But now we don't do that. Why? Because in a pie crunch, the crust should fall. Or if it's a pastry like poğaça, it should like crumble. If we knead more, what would happen is we wake up the gluten. And when making up the gluten, it's like gummy, gooey thing, and that breaking with the shortening of oil, that feeling goes away. So we shouldn't knead a lot. It doesn't have to be really smooth. Now we have the baking sheet. I crumble it to be able to open it as much as I like. Put it on top of it. I'm gonna enlarge it to the size of my air fryer. Okay. I also need sides, so I take this part out, so I'm going to make it this big. To make it like a square, for example, these are round, take your rolling pin to the end and push to the end a little more so that it becomes like a square. For example, here is the thicker part, here is the thinner part. Only press from the middle to the side, making it more like a square. This way. Now, we take our reference again, we put it back in. We put it to the middle. If you say, Refika, I don't have an air fryer, we can do it in the oven. Same thing, just the timing is gonna change a little. Shorten these sides, push the side like this. Then with the help of a fork, put holes. Why do I put holes? Because it has baking powder as well. I don't want the bottom of my quiche to grow big. The air bubbles can go out. And then here I have my baking beans and my baking sheet because I don't want each time to use new ones. Sustainability in the kitchen is important. So put one like this and the second one like this. So I can pick them up really easily. Put these beans in the middle. It creates the heaviness so my dough don't rise. Okay, now this gets in to the air fryer. No preheating. Put my air fryer to 15 minutes to 200 degrees. This new air fryer has option of double fan, single fan. So double fan, but yours might not have. So in the air fryer with the beans. Then I take the beans out. Another 5 minutes to color the bottom part of the crust and then continue. There, when my quiche is baking, I wanted to spare this 2 minutes to show you how to make that great poğaça as well. But if you are just interested in quiche, you can skip the video a little later to somewhere here. We can spot it.
Don't skip. It's the best thing on earth.
What is pocha? Pocha is something we eat in the mornings, lunchtime, breaks, with the tea, without the tea, with the coffee. Pocha goes well with everything. It's a simple dough. Normally they make it with a lot more oil or butter, but with the help of the yogurt, I find it really crusty and crunchy and so beautiful. This is the dough that we use for the quiche, the same one. We had a spare one. Make it first a bit round. Then I'm gonna cut this hopefully in 3 equal pieces. The big one goes for Bahar.
All of them are for me. Okay.
We press it hard, then slowly lift our hand and then make it round and perfect like this. Then we press it a bit. This could be a plain pocha like this. Then I press it a little bigger. A bit of cheese. In this case, Bahar wants it with halloumi. This is the one with a bit of halloumi. I press the sides as well. I make sure that they are closed. Even though it opens up, it's not a big deal. But there's also a fancy way of making the sides, but I'm not gonna get into that today. I have an egg yolk here. I'm going to put some egg yolk on top to this one as well. To the plain one, something like this as a design. Turkish pastry design. And to this, a bit of nigella with a bit of music. And if you want a bit of sesame seeds, voila.
Which one is your favorite pocha?
Mincemeat is very nice, but I love it even plain. This is my dough, guys. I have developed this balance with the yogurt. I love it for so long. Please try it. Until you try it, you won't believe how tasty it is. I even like it eating raw. So these are gonna get into the air fryer, another one that I will find and show you how they are when they're finished. For the filling, I need 2 onions. In Turkey, we have this harder pumpkin. I know for you it's easier to find orange, nice pumpkins, but if you use like ours, be sure to get rid of the green sides. These are really good for soup. We have a soup video to make soup from everything. If you haven't watched it, you should definitely watch it. And a bit of cream, that's all we need. I need 2 onions. I'm going to caramelize them a bit. Slice it in half, cut it into slices. I'll put a bit of salt and rub the onions with a bit of salt. This way it's easier for the onions to get cooked. For the onions, this will take a bit of time, 2-3 minutes on high heat. Then I lower the heat, making it easier to get brown. The sugar of the onion gets out and gets caramelized.
Hi everyone, we are on Amazon. You can find our most highlighted products on Amazon and buy with just 1 click.
The pumpkin is around 300 grams. The hard thing is about this is to grind it without something happening to your hands. So
Why don't you put it in a food processor?
you can.
Refika having her tea and onions are ready. They are caramelized, brown, looking beautiful, and the crust is ready as well. So Refika can come.
For the filling, this is 18% cream. It's not a very heavy one. A pack of cream and 2 eggs. Whoa. Now, we take our base out. You can do this, guys, if you want from carrots, beetroots. You can do it with chicken, anything you like. Zucchini. And then I put a pinch of salt to the pumpkins. It has its own sweetness, but this is actually a savory dish, so a bit of salt. And also a bit of salt and pepper to the cream and egg. The caramelized onions get in. And I'm going to put a bit of rosemary. Here it is. A bit of rosemary, fresh from Istanbul. I'm not gonna put the whole rosemary in, half of it is gonna go to the top. No chopping the rosemary because it turns a bit bitter taste. This will combine the ingredients together, turning it into a pie, a quiche. Okay. For 22 minutes, 200 degrees. If your air fryer has a fan function, not a double one, single fan. If your air fryer don't have just one function, you can use the whole. It's gonna cook in 22 minutes. Check it out. Dip a spoon in. If it's wiggly and not so cooked, cook a little bit more because the performance of air fryers are not really in line yet. And if you do it in the oven, here are the minutes and the degrees. So now we have a little break for our pochas actually. The team is dying for it. Okay, let's go guys. I have the teas, Bahar. Half is for you, half is for me. Ah, it's too hot. So simple and so tasty. This is the one
Yardım edeyim mi?
that Öykü made for you.
Actually, there are a lot of similar things all around the world, like berekitas when you go to Europe, when you go to America. But this dough, it's salty, it's savory, it's very delicious. Different from all the rest, and I think better than all the rest. I'm sorry. Çok güzel.
This is better than my mom's. Sorry, mama.
Hop. Ta-dam! Now, guys, you might see that it looks a bit burned, but it's not. I'm not this fat, this is not that burned. Everything looks a bit darker, but actually it's the perfect crunch on the sides and the bottom. Crunch. Ideally, if this sits for a while, it's better, but I want to cut it immediately and eat it. So as you can see, this is it. Yeah. Now it's 100 degrees probably, but... So, that's it guys. So nice. Simple and tasty. By the way, the reason I put this recipe to the channel was we were working here and there was a team of people who visited our shop from US, and we were at the time trying it with Öykü, this recipe, and she came in and she loved it so much. Then she went to the air fryer and said, oh, I want to change my air fryer to this. How is this possible? I've never tasted such a nice pumpkin pie, because pumpkin pie usually is very American in that sense. But hearing from an American that she hasn't tasted such a thing ever in her life was the courage for us to put this recipe on the channel. For now, that's it. Take great care. Lots of love from Istanbul.